From the NMSU Department of Journalism and Media Studies in collaboration with KRWG, this is the student-produced News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ben Schlittler.
And I'm Diego Gallegos. 9 international students at NMSU have had their visas restored so they can come back to school.
When their visas were revoked, NMSU President Valerio Ferme said it was due to, quote, outdated records and current law infractions. He said those violations don't affect the students' academic standing at the university, though, and they cannot be disenrolled. Since Trump took office, more than 4,500 students have been affected, but more than 200 have received court orders to prevent universities from taking action. The New Mexico ACLU says that the rulings are the first step towards justice for international students.
Now, opposition for the Trump administration's recent actions is growing in Las Cruces.
As News 22 Samantha Dates reports, more and more are taken to the streets.
Just outside the Las Cruces Border Patrol station, angry residents made their voices heard. About 100 people lined up with signs showing their discontent for the mass deportations sweeping the country. There have been more than 350 deportation flights out of the United States since the beginning of the year. These protesters are saying it's unjust and unpatriotic.
Now I'm here with all of the others who are immigrants here who deserve to be treated with justice and fairness just like everyone else.
This issue is hitting particularly close to home to people on the borderland, and they won't stop fighting for the change that they want to see. Marco Antonio Ulloa immigrated to the U.S. in 1958. He says it was much easier back then. It wasn't as hard to get your papers. I'm here because I'm a foreigner too, and I'm here to support us. His activism began with supporting Cesar Chavez in the Delano grape boycotts, and it hasn't ended there. We all have a right to live here because we are all immigrants, even those in the White House right now. Trump's family, his wife is an immigrant. They want to kick out us Latinos and those with brown skin. Many immigrants, including students with active visas, have been deported without due process.
You can't just round people up and ship them out of the country. Democracy is under attack and we need to do something.
Protesters stressed the importance of following the Constitution. Some held American flags upside down, symbolizing the country in distress.
Patriotism is not just supporting blindly someone who wants to be a dictator.
Some protesters said the next step is for young people to get involved in elections and protests and to stand up for their country. Samantha Dates, News 22.
A former Doña Ana County magistrate judge and his wife are out of jail after paying $10,000 bond.
Yeah, Judge Joel Cano, who was also a Las Cruces police officer, and his wife were arrested last Thursday. It was part of an investigation into 3 men accused of being involved with the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang. They are charged with conspiracy and tampering with evidence. The charges came after a suspected Venezuelan gang member was found living on Cano's property. Cano's attorneys have not commented. And Ben, it was really, really hot this weekend, but definitely glad that the dust settled down a little bit.
I know, it was a pretty bad one too, but our luck is turning. Ruby, what do you got for us?
All right, let's take a look at our current conditions on our campus. We can see bright, beautiful skies with a view of the Oregon Mountains, and this tree is shaking a lot. Just a couple of seconds ago, the camera was also shaking, and we should expect those winds to kind of pick up later into the evening. And today in Las Cruces, we had a 77 degree warm day with 10-mile-per-hour winds, and our humidity and dew points low as always at 7% and 6 degrees. The barometer is picking up that pressure at 29.99 inches. And we had high temperatures at 82, a low of 47 into the evening, and average temperatures at 77 degrees. The record high temperature was in the year 2000 at a warm 94 degrees, and the low in 1991 at 35 degrees. We didn't have any rain today, and we're not expecting any later into the week, and we are standing still at that 0.05 of an inch for yearly rainfall. Now back to Ben and Diego at the desk.
And now some NMSU students are hoping to one day find jobs in the fashion industry, and the Aggie Fashion Club show highlighted the students' creativity and eyes for bold and daring designs.
Now, everybody worked with this year's theme, the Bohemian Jungle, but for one senior, it was her first and last chance to show off her passion and creativity. News 22's Jade Mata Ornelas reports.
Kind of interpreted in our own unique way.
Natalia Peterson decided to use her own tattoos of a centipede and a spider skittering across her skin as inspiration for her dresses.
It was more so that I wanted to go with bugs that spoke to me creatively.
She chose bed sheets as her main material. To tie in with the main message of the fashion show, she bought them secondhand.
I thrifted all of my material. I think sustainability in fashion is a really important thing to consider, even when you are like a small designer, even a student. So I think shopping secondhand and using materials that are sustainably sourced, like cotton and linen and those sorts of things, is a good way to practice that even on a small scale.
But this runway isn't just about showing off students' creativity. It's also about sustainability, upcycling, and accountability.
Well, we're very concerned about the impact that fashion industry makes on the environment.
Fast fashion is one of the most wasteful industries on the planet. It drains resources like water, literal tons of clothing are thrown away every year, and garment workers are underpaid and exploited. With the fashion show highlighting alternative choices like secondhand stores and upcycling what you already have, they hope more people will shop and consume more consciously.
It's incredibly important to shed light on that, and even just here in Cruces, in our little corner of the world, we're doing our part, and that feels good, you know?
For Natalia, she's hoping on making the industry a little more proactive in helping the planet. Jadema Tornelas, News 22.
Stay tuned, Ruby will be back with your national forecast.
But first, NMSU students are commemorating their final days on campus with the senior walk. More on that when News 22 continues.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. May 10 will be a very special day for NMSU seniors. It's graduation day. To prepare for it, the senior walk was held last Friday afternoon. Groups of seniors showed up with their family and friends and walked to the Pan American Center for free food, drinks, and prizes. News 22's Raven Villarreal has the story.
When I say hashtag, you say done. Hashtag. Hashtag.
The walk started in front of Skeen Hall, where everyone gathered on the grass. Organizers gave speeches, and the band played and led the seniors on their journey to the Pan Am. By taking these steps, they're now ready to enter the workforce they've been preparing for. Marina Schimmel is ready to move into the workforce for aerospace and mechanical engineering.
I'm very excited to graduate. As I said, I've been in college for 6 years, so I started before COVID, so I'm ready to be done and get into the workforce.
Family is an important factor to every student's success, especially when the student will continue studying after graduation.
I'll be going to grad school, so I won't be leaving, but it's taken me 13 years to finish my undergrad, so I'm really excited about that.
The senior walk is something that ends at the chapter in every senior's career here at NMSU. They always have this tradition every year, and it's always similar to the first walk that freshmen complete when they first come into NMSU.
Not only are you doing first year walk when you're a freshman joining campus, but to finish and close that circle off by doing senior walk, it kind of closes that chapter in your life.
Once they got to the Pan Am, it was time for photos, drinks, and food, and lots of free gifts.
$20. I feel really excited, honestly. I'm just glad to finally be graduating. It doesn't seem real. Time flew by.
And now, there's just one more big event of their college career, when they cross the stage to receive their diplomas. Raven Villarreal, News 22.
Now, Ben, it's been really dry down here. I really wish that we could get the rain that they're heading out in the east.
I know, but unfortunately I'm a baseball fan. I'm a Phillies fan, so there's been a lot of rain delays. So what can you tell us about that, Ruby?
All right, guys. So while we here in Las Cruces are sweating just after a couple of minutes of standing outside, that is not the case for other areas of the country. As we can see, Texas, Oklahoma, up into Illinois and Indiana are facing some cooler and even chillier temperatures, as we can see by the blue, yellow, and the mix of the greens. And on my next map, we see these exact same areas are affected by severe weather watches from Texas all the way up into Pennsylvania and New York State. They're facing severe thunderstorm warnings and watches. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but last week, just last week, Louisiana and Kentucky were facing a lot of rainfall and severe flooding. And so that storm is sweeping north and northwest across the country. And last but not least, we have our drought monitor. So the South and Ohio Valley are not showing up thanks to those wet conditions, but the west and the southwest area of the country are dry as they typically are. So California, Arizona, and parts of New Mexico are facing severe and exceptional drought warnings. So we have to keep an eye on that here in the land of enchantment, especially because wildfire season is starting this May. And I will be back with your local forecast after the break. All right, welcome back to News 22. Northern New Mexico is facing cooler temperatures. We can see Farmington at a 70, Santa Fe at 62, Albuquerque at a cooler 68, and down into Socorro we warm up again at 78 degrees. Ruidoso a 68, Las Cruces 81, and Deming 78 degrees. And for tomorrow, for these same areas, in Alamogordo tonight, we have clear skies at a 43, and tomorrow partly cloudy skies at a warm 79. And in Silver City, Truth or Consequences tonight, we have clear skies at 46, and tomorrow a warm high 81 degrees with sunny skies. And in Silver City tonight, 41 and a warm 71 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. And in Las Cruces tonight, a cooler 47, clear sky, and tomorrow an 80 with mostly cloudy skies. And all right, back to Ben and Diego.
And that was a cool story, but Mikey Tonko is next with sports.
Thanks, Diego, and thanks, Ben. Coming up in sports, it's a women's world, and we are lucky to be living in it. Don't go anywhere, because News 22 Sports is up next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
For the win! He got it!
Welcome back to News 22 Tuesday. I'm Mikey Tonko, and let's talk sports. On Monday, Softball America sent out its first batch of player power rankings before the start of May. The publication recognized its top players, and NMSU's own Desiree Spearman was ranked 5th best of the athletes that both pitch and hit, and she finished as one of 2 stars from the mid-major programs. Spearman will lead the Aggies into the final week of the regular season, headed to Georgia at Kennesaw State this weekend for a 3-game series as the Aggies try to secure a spot in next week's CUSA Championship. In golf news, Emma Bunch finished tied for 11th place at the Augusta National Women's Amateur Tournament. A historic finish for Bunch as she became the first Aggie in program history to compete at the renowned tournament. Finishing 11th out of 72 golfers, she was just one of 9 first-time ANWA participants to qualify for the final round of play. And at 5 under par, Bunch paced all first-time competitors entering the final round. Did y'all know that there's a semi-pro football team here in Las Cruces? No, we're not talking about Aggie or high school football. We're talking about the Banitas, an all-women's football team that's part of the largest semi-pro league in the country. The team has been around for about 3 years and is eyeing its 3rd trip to the national championship game. Our own News 22's Diego Gallegos has the story.
Blocking, passing, and touchdowns. Here at the NMSU Horseshoe, women from all walks of life come together on the weekends.
You know, we got a lot of moms out here, a lot of sisters and stuff like this.
The New Mexico Banitas compete in the Women's Football Alliance, a league that continues to break boundaries for women in football.
One of my good friends from the reservation and from back home, she led me to football and helped me to create an outlet for myself.
Their head coach is no stranger to the game.
At the high school, I got some offers for college. I also ran track. My speed is what really got me over the edge, right? And so 2005, I got a scholarship to come here to New Mexico State.
Coach Cotton has been with the team since 2022. In his other job, he's a Doña Ana County Sheriff's deputy. He says coaching women has brought challenges and rewards.
I think the biggest difference is the motion of the game. You know, that's the biggest part when you talk about the true difference. It's an emotion, you know, how they wear it compared to how the guys wear it.
That emotion is on full display. During their practices, Their quarterback doesn't take too kindly to it.
It is not easy to see a woman, or any woman, right, to be physical or, trash talk or anything like that, that we're so used to the norm of it being men, right? We see it a lot in the WNBA, right? When women get a little too competitive and things start getting a little chippy here and there, they see that out of character, but in fact, we're competitors too.
Hey, check, 42.
The Bonitas have made it to back-to-back Division III national championships. However, despite their continued success, the team continues to run into obstacles. One of those obstacles is finding a place to call their home.
Go!
They drive 90 minutes to Cloudcroft High School.
So we play in Cloudcroft and Cruces. So we'll have 2 games in Cloudcroft for a home game, and then we'll have a game in Cruces for a home game.
The Bonitas have traveled to California, Ohio, and Louisiana, opening up the world to some players.
The last couple years ago was my first time out of state, first time seeing fireflies.
The light of the fireflies for Jasmine, Gabriel, and the team makes the message clear: to win and empower. And the goal for the Bonitas is to bring the national championship trophy to the city of the Crosses. Diego Gallegos,
1, 2, 3.
News 22.
The Bonitas will be going head-to-head with Colorado Springs this Saturday, May 3rd. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Ruby will be back to take a look at our 5-day forecast.
Welcome back, Ben. What can you tell us about some of our top stories?
Well, 9 NMSU students got their visas back after being revoked due to claims that they had outdated records and current law infractions. The most recent NMSU fashion show focused on sustainability and showed that you can be both environmentally conscious and highly fashionable. And NMSU seniors celebrated their last weeks before graduation with the Senior Walk. We're wishing them good luck in the job fields.
All right, and we're looking at warmer temperatures throughout the rest of the week. Thursday, we're going to have like a warm 85, and all the way into Sunday, building up into 87 and even more higher winds. So I don't know if y'all have any plans, but maybe change them a little bit.
Definitely killer, guys.
I'm too headstrong to change my plans.
Yeah. And that's all for News 22 Tuesday. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Tune in tomorrow for more news, but don't go anywhere yet because Zaira Sanchez Aguilar is next with Noticias 22 in Español right after this. I'm Ben Schlittler.
And I'm Diego Gallegos. From the whole News 22 team, Mikey, Ruby, Ben, and myself, good night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22. La información más completa de Nuevo México, El Paso y la frontera. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Zaira Sánchez Aguilar y es un gusto volver a saludarlos con las breves de hoy en Noticias 22. Se han restituido las visas a 9 estudiantes internacionales de la Universidad Estatal de Nuevo México. Anteriormente, las visas de los estudiantes fueron revocadas por una regla federal. La universidad decidió que las violaciones de inmigración no afectan la situación académica de los estudiantes en la universidad y no pueden ser dados de baja. Desde que Trump asumió el cargo, más de 4,000 estudiantes han sido eliminados por el Sistema de Información de Visitantes y Estudiantes Extranjeros, también conocida como SEVIS, pero más de 200 han recibido órdenes judiciales para evitar que las universidades tomen medidas. La Unión Americana Libertad Civil de Nuevo México emitió un comunicado afirmando que las sentencias son el primer paso hacia la justicia para los estudiantes internacionales. Un juez magistrado del condado de Doña Ana y su esposa están fuera de la cárcel después de pagar una fianza de $10,000. El juez Joel Cano, que también era agente de policía de las Cruces, y su esposa fueron detenidos el pasado jueves. Era parte de una investigación sobre 3 hombres acusados de estar involucrados con la banda venezolana Tren de Aragua. Se les acusa de conspiración y manipulación de pruebas. Los cargos se presentaron después de que se descubriera a un presunto miembro del Tren de Aragua en la propiedad de Cano. Los abogados de Cano no han hecho comentarios al respecto. Eso ha sido todo por mi parte. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. No olviden seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales. Nos encuentran como Noticias 22. Bonita noche.